Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It's Thursday. The weekend is nearly upon us, but it is transfer time, and West Ham have been linked with a massive striker, to say the least, in Sasha Kalajdzic, I think his name is, from Stuttgart. 24 years old, 23 goals last season. Wow, didn't see that one coming, if I'm honest. Make it what you sort of see it, so to speak. And really, it's been someone in Germany has mentioned it on like some sort of news article or like media outlet saying that West Ham are in for him and the deal is very close. What do I make of him? Massive striker. Trust me, he's huge. Is he what we need? He's an option. He is an option, and that's what West Ham need is options. We need to get over the Haller situation, like the love affair with Haller, and start going for big, strong strikers. Like it works in our favour, especially the way we play. We play balls in the box, set pieces, and Kalajdzic, I think his name is the man up there who has been linked. So I don't know, like he scored some good goals, I must admit. And I've had a look through his like clips, and he looks quite half decent. So Austrian international. So yeah, make it what you see it really, and see what happens in the coming days. Moving on though to OkoFlex, and this boy has been linked with a move away from West Ham and going to Championship clubs and a possible move abroad. What can I say about OkoFlex? What do we really know about OkoFlex other than nothing? All we know is that he scores goals in the under-23s, and he has never been really given a chance in the first team. If he does leave West Ham on loan, I think it's good for his progression. If he possibly leaves on a permanent, I won't be best pleased, I think. I don't know what is going on in the under-23 setup at present, but for me, it just seems like they just do not want to give the youngsters a go. Like, even certain youngsters don't even get a chance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like OkoFlex, Perkins, even Ashby to a point doesn't really get a chance. So if OkoFlex does go to a Championship club on loan, I think if that's a sort of level where he could possibly be at. Do I think he should start at West Ham next year? No. Do I think he should be around the team next year? Possibly. But if you're being guaranteed to go to a club and be a permanent player for the whole sort of season, then I think it's worth taking the chance on. Going to Europe is a major thing. Like, a lot of players are going to Europe at present, and if that opportunity comes up for him to go on loan somewhere, there may be. But OkoFlex, he needs to play, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? He needs to play games, and as fans, all we have seen him do is score goals in the under-23s. That's all we've ever seen him do. So it'd be such a shame if he is sold from West Ham United. And finally, before I get to your comments, Raphinha, he's still in the hunt. West Ham are still possibly looking at Raphinha, right? Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. But I think what it is, Raphinha at the minute, he's wondering where he's going to fit, whether he's going to be first choice. Like, is he going to be first choice at Arsenal, and is he going to be first choice at Spurs? I think Chelsea, I think he definitely thinks he ain't going to be first choice there. So Raphinha for me would be an absolute superb signing. That is a name that people get on the backs of their shirts. That's a proper signing at West Ham. Should West Ham go for him for 55 million? I think if you want to progress and you need a left-sided player, and people are saying about Benrahma, he's the man for me. Really is, Raphinha. He runs at people. His defensive plays absolutely first class. And one thing what I can say about him in the Leeds shirt, and I'm not the biggest fan of Leeds, is that he gives his heart and soul in the shirt of whoever he plays for. Another ex-Rennes player. Like, we need to go to Rennes and get their scout, I think, because Rennes have developed some really, really good players who have gone on to do some good things. Can I see us getting Raphinha? Probably not. It's probably out of our budget, if I'm being honest. But if you want to progress and you want to be a big club, Raphinha is the man. I think he comes in, he goes on that left-hand side. And listen, as much as I like Benny, he's better than Benrahma for me. He does more than Benrahma. He attacks better than Benrahma. He scores more goals than Benrahma. to a point. He's more threatening on the break than Benny. Do you know what I mean? I do like Benny, but you know it is. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, if I was to rate that out of 10, the chance of us getting Raphinha, probably look at a 3 or 4 out of 10. But he's definitely worth paying for, if that makes sense. So let's get your thoughts before I go. Let's have a look what we got. Happy Hammerette is in the house. Afternoon, James. Hope you are all well. Double H. Hi. Afternoon, mate. From George. Thank you very much, man. Thunder and Joy. He looks half decent, 6'7", but good with his feet as well. Send OkoFlex out on loan. Yeah, listen, Sasha looks good, mate. I ain't going to keep butchering his second name, but he does look quite decent. And if it's the reported 17 to 18 million pounds for him, then I think it's not a bad signing, if I'm honest. Like someone who's good in the air, good on the ground. But I think what it is with the West Ham fan base is they look at Haller and they think, oh, we can't go and get another player like that. Now, Haller's not the only man who plays as like a strong centre forward. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think we've got to get over this Haller situation, right? And go, Haller's gone. Haller's done brilliant since he's left West Ham. He's gone on to Ajax, and he's possibly going on to Dortmund, or he's even signed for Dortmund. Now that's not a bad progression, is it, from West Ham to Dortmund? So for me, like, we need to get over Haller. Now, if we're going to go for this bloke, get him in. I think he's a striker. We need strikers at the club. It's a no-brainer for me. Would he be my first choice? I don't know. It's an hard one because you've got Broja that everyone seems to want to rave about. No one knew about him a year ago. You've got El Nesri for me, who's proven at Champions League level. He scored goals in a very, very good league. You've got this man. West Ham been linked with so many strikers. It's like I can't even write them down. Do you know what I mean? So we need a striker. If he's available at a good fee, get him in my opinion. Rob J. Afternoon all. More rumours. European football, Easy Street, Mane, for example. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what you mean by it, Rob, but maybe you're saying, Rob. 30 million max could be a changing room nightmare, according to a Leeds pal. I don't know, Rob. Like, when you say about Raphinha, 30 million, for me, he changed his games on his own. Like, I watched him a few times last year, and that boy runs and runs and runs and doesn't stop running until his legs fall off near enough. So I don't know, Rob. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's West Ham, and if you want to get a marquee signing, someone who's going to get names on backs of shirts, I don't think Broja does that. I think Raphinha does. So we will see about that, mate. What we got here? Let's have a look. Afternoon, James. Hearing OkoFlex is strong rumour this afternoon. Turkish player, yeah. Plays a bit like Lanzini, if I'm honest. What I've seen of him, I watched a few clips of him, and obviously you can't really go on clips, but you can just look at the basics of what they do, like the passing, the movement, and everything. Plays like Lanzini of old, mate. He really does. When Lanzini arrived at West Ham from like the Middle East, he was very technically very good and fast and slick on the ball. And that Turkish lad is like that. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough, he's playing for Feyenoord, then what can you make of the Dutch league at the minute? Not a lot, other than Ajax are like miles ahead of everyone else. But he's been linked with some big clubs all around Europe, so he must be half decent. Is he worth a punt? I think so. I think we need a central midfielder, and is he in our budget? Of course he is. Like, I think Ward-Prowse is miles out of our budget, like 75 million reported. We ain't paying 75 million pound out for a player, mate. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. Hi, people. Hope you're well. Nightmare Haller. I don't know, mate. I think we've got to get over that old Haller situation, because we've had crap strikers before Haller. Like, we've had Benny McCarthy, we've had other players. Maiga was rubbish. Like, we've had some rubbish strikers at West Ham, and it seems like everyone's focused on Haller in recent time. Even when we signed Simeone Sasa, like, no, everyone forgets how crap he was back in the day when we signed him in 2016, I think it was, or 2015. So we've got to get over this. We've got to get over this Haller ball. And hey, he's moved on to better things, and we should. And if we go and get a target man, you can't compare him to Haller. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't like compare other top strikers to other top strikers. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's in their own right. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Excess said we scouted that Kalajdzic, but he's not our first choice. Broja is our first choice. Yeah, yeah. Listen, Broja for me, as I said, I done a space the other night, a really, really good space on Twitter. Trust me, I had over 150 people in this space, and it was a massive debate about Broja, and people were saying like, "What?" And I was asking people. With me, I don't care. Listen, I speak to anyone. Anyone's got an opinion on West Ham, I'll speak to them and hear them out because that's what it's all about. And some people agreed with me that said, "Listen, you're going to go and invest £30 million out in a player that we've seen for a season, who, yeah, he looks okay, but like that's it." Do you know what I mean? And other people said, "Well, bring him in. He's going to develop. He could possibly be world class." And I'm thinking, I don't know where they're getting the world class factor from. I really don't. Like, I don't understand that sort of mentality. Like, in 18 months since Haller has left West Ham United, West Ham haven't had a striker. And my argument is that you're telling me West Ham couldn't have found a striker from scouting for 18 months, but they're going to go for Broja, who is a Chelsea youth player. That doesn't really pull up any trees for me. And I think, well, what have you been doing for 18 months when you know that striker's been missing? So for me, Broja, if he comes in, I'll back it as I always do with the players. But I think you need better than Broja, mate. Or bring Broja in to develop and bring another striker in with him. So you've got 3 strikers at the club. Like, you can have 3 strikers. We've got 5 subs next year. We've got 4 competitions. We need options at West Ham. And the problem is, it seems like people keep wanting to play in the same players and don't want to upset Antonio. Now, for me, Antonio needs to be upsetted because in some games, I think he just strolls around knowing that he can have a 70% performance and he's going to get a game next week. So that's got to change. You know what I'm saying? What else have we got here? 4 nails with skill. Yeah, you're not far off there, Rob. I said Lanzini because it's the way Lanzini plays, but 4 nails with skill ain't a bad assessment on him, really, if I'm honest, from that Turkish lad. If he's in our budget, I think we've got to go for him. There's no two ways about it. So, do you know what I'm saying? John, hope you're well, mate. Afternoon. Haller was compared. What's that? Haller was Messi's other strikers we had. Yeah, I have to laugh, George. Listen, I know what people's thoughts are on Haller, but we've got to move on from him now, mate. Like, I see things on Twitter and social media, and people are like counting down the days since Haller left. And I think, mate, we've had some worse strikers than him at the club. Like, and that is no joke. If I was to go through a list of probably the worst strikers at West Ham, he wouldn't be on it, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot worse than him. I remember seeing some absolute crap. Do you know what I mean? Like Titi Kamara at West Ham back in the day when I was like growing up. Like, I've seen some absolute pony, and I think Haller, he gets criticised for the price tag more than him, if that makes sense. I think if Haller's 20 million or 15 million, I don't think anyone's complaining. Because he costs £42.5 million, I think everyone like has a dig at him. So it is what it is, man. What do you think of Isaac Jones as a right back replacement of Fredericks? Can be displace Johnson, replace that is Johnson and Kafel. I like that kid, Anthony. Right, I do. He plays for Middlesbrough, yeah. He's from South London or South East London, if I remember rightly. And he's been non-league and all. And he's quite decent for Borough. I've got to admit, from what I've seen of him, he looks massively like above championship level for me. Would I have him at West Ham as a right back? I think we've got Ashby, if I'm being honest. Ashby's there, Kafel's there, Johnson's there. The only fear I do have that if next season we go into it and there's no left back at this club, we all know Ben Johnson is going to be the covering left back at West Ham United, and that is a worry for me. I don't want Ben over on the left, if I'm being honest. We need a left back, and if we can't go out and buy a left back from somewhere, then there is something drastically wrong. I think there's too many square pegs in round holes in this situation at West Ham. I think that has really got to change. So, would I have him, Jones? I would, but just not right now. I don't think. I don't think we need a right back at the club. Let's have a look. What else we got here? as I said on the space and the other night, if we are buying Broja, we are buying potential. Yeah, I agree, John. It was good to have you on there, John, as it goes, having your thoughts on that space the other night. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're buying potential, but we need a player to come in and do it now, don't we? Like everyone said this about Kalajdzic, for instance. They said, yeah, Kalajdzic is going to come in, give him time to come into the club and develop. West Ham don't have time to go out and buy potential. We're not that sort of club. We need players to come in and be ready to hit the ground running straight away. What I mean, if you're buying potential, you're buying a youngster and you're working with him from the academy up. Like you can't bring a potential into the first team and put all the pressure on this kid and say, right, you're going to be our backup striker now, mate. Do you know what I mean? If you don't perform, then you're getting the sack, basically. So, Broja is a good player. I think he will be a great player. If we sign him, then great. But I think we need someone else in there with a bit more experience. I think from Antonio to Broja, it's you got someone who's raw and someone who's experienced, and then you need something in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? We need a pace factor and all. That's one thing we do need. What we got here? Where is it? Marco Boogers, yeah. Yeah. Mate, as what I say, mate, we've seen some rubbish at West Ham. Now, to keep digging out this player, I think you got to move on. Like what we're like with Jesse Lingard at the minute is what people are like with Haller. He just can't let go of it. So just let go of it, man. That's what I'd say. Broja excites me, to be honest. Perfect player to get in to take over from Antonio. But I agree, James. I like three strikers. I think we deserve three strikers, George. Though that's the $1 million question to me. I think West Ham should have three strikers at the club. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like Antonio has got to be straight out, but Antonio needs to be challenged. And if you are going to go out and buy an El Nesri or a Broja, if you bring them two in together, Antonio looks over his shoulder and thinks, right, I've definitely got to perform now. Do you know what I mean? Because there is no excuses now. Because like next season is going to be, I think, going to be one of the hardest seasons going. Every game, I think, is going to be massively difficult. Like this season, that's just gone. I think there were certain games where we could just go there, turn up, and just roll our team over like a Norwich. I don't think we're going to get that next season. Nottingham Forest ain't going to be easy. Like Fulham under their manager, they've got a new stand that they've built. They're going to be a different breed than there was a few years ago. And Bournemouth under Scott Parker ain't going to lie down. So the way I look at it is West Ham should have options. Do you know what I mean? And keep relying on playing like players out of position and square pegs and round holes. Shoot me down for mentioning his name too, but I don't believe Lingard has said he doesn't fancy coming back to us. He's been on holiday, so I still think a deal could be done. I'll try not to mention Lingard on this channel anymore because it's becoming a saga now, isn't it? Like where it's like club versus player sort of thing. If Lingard comes to West Ham, it's a good signing. If Lingard comes to West Ham and wants to wear the shirt with pride and do what he done last time, by all means. If Lingard coming to the club for £1 note, he's not worth the money. Like because he's got no sell-on value after that, really. Do you know what I'm saying? If we get him for 4 years and he just comes here, he could just come here and just not do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't like Lingard's attitude at the minute because it's like he thinks he can find better than us. And we was the hand that helped him up off the ground when he had no one. Do you know what I'm saying? And this, I'll never forget it. West Brom, Sheffield United, and us, yeah, was linked with Lingard, and he come to us because the only reason because he knew Moyes. And when he didn't perform the way like for Man United, when he come to us, he just turned into Messi all of a sudden. So, do I think it'll get done? I think they are looking at other options, West Ham. I think otherwise these certain players won't be getting linked. West Ham need a marquee attacking signing this summer. That's one thing I will say. Not a guard. A guard is a good player, trust me. And I cannot wait for West Ham fans to see him because I've seen a bit of him and I like him. I think he's a decent player and I think he's better than Zuma in my opinion. Right, 100%. But we need an attacking player or if not, a few. Just to sort of put a name on the back of a shirt. It's getting a bit boring there. Like we've got Rice, who's amazing, Bowen, who's been great, Antonio's everyone's a fan's favourite. And after that, there's not a lot in there. Even Benny, for instance, Benny doesn't put names on backs of shirts. Do you know what I'm saying? And I like Benrahma, so there you go. Right, what we got? Everyone's coming in. There we go. We need a right back. Kafal for the last season was not up to the mark. Ben Johnson is good at defending, but horrible going forward. I'm not going to pronounce your name, mate, because I don't want to butcher it. But there's one man, and that is Harrison Ashby. And for me, Ashby is the man to move forward to the next level. Like, he's absolutely top draw. Like, I've seen him in a few games for the under-23s, and that boy looks miles ahead of everyone else. Miles. Yeah, everyone can say that about Elise, but we've got, at centre-half, you want top-quality players, like your Zoomers, like your Agards, etc. I don't think Elise can come in and just do that. Do you know what I'm saying? He has to, like, he's going to have to smash through the doors to get through there. But Ashby can get that right-back position. Do you know what I mean? He's got pace. He can cross the ball. He's direct. He's everything that you want in a fullback, wingback player. So, do we need a right back? I don't believe we do, mate. I really don't. Don't get me wrong. If someone West Ham was to go out and sign a proper right back, like a top draw right back, then so be it. But I think Ashby's there, and I think Ashby can do a job there for us, 100%. Happy Hammerette says Belotti. I would, 100%. Free transfer, no brainer. Broder is a perfect fit for us. Hi James. If we do sign a striker, we need them to be ready for pre-season, so they can come and gel with the team. In my opinion, 100% agree. The pre-season starts in like something like 2.5 weeks' time. I think it is. If I've read it right, I think it's like the 12th or the 11th of July that the pre-season starts. God, mate, we need them in. Need them in now, really, so they can get in, get acclimatized to the club and the training ground, and everything. Get them settled into their home life. And then by the time all that happens, all the players will be coming back, and then they've got to go in pre-season. So I think West Ham are working hard. If I'm going to be honest, I do think West Ham are working hard on transfers, but it's just that we just never know who we're getting. Like, do you know what I mean? Fair enough, the Agard deal took nearly 5 weeks to sort out. From the moment he got linked, and he got linked in January, and he was been linked again straight after when the season finished, and it took 5 weeks to get over the line, obviously, because he went away with Morocco and etc. But the Areola deal needs to get done, right? That's a major, that needs to get signed, sealed, and delivered. I think it will do, in my opinion, but you're taking a lot of risks, because if someone comes in and goes, well, we'll offer you more money, Areola, he ain't like committed to West Ham, so we've got to sort that out. Blotty's injury record has been horrendous. Or horrible, sorry. Yeah, I do agree on that. But I do think if he's fit and he's firing, he's a really, really good striker. I remember when we got linked with him a few years ago, because he was playing for Torino at the time, like £40 million deal, I think it was. I think he was the man who we got linked with when we was looking at Haller. And he wouldn't leave Torino. And I don't understand why he's left Torino, because he was like very, very happy there. It would not surprise me if he stays in Europe. Like he may even stay in Italy. So I don't know about Belotti, if I'm honest. I think he's a good player. I think he could come in and do a great job for West Ham. I really do. Like, he's a top end striker. He plays international football for Italy. Italy are no mugs. Obviously, they beat us in the Euros, and he was like a sub coming on each time. So I don't know what we got here. Let's have a look. Let's get down here. Have a look. David Moyes likes to have a small squad. Well, that's got to change this season, mate, in my opinion. I think the West Ham fan base needs to say to him, it's time to sort yourself out now. Do you know what I mean? Last season, we had so many games, and in the end, towards the back end of the season, the last month of the season, we just run out of steam. Let's be honest, as fans, we was looking at West Ham in games and we was thinking, what's going on? I'll never forget the Brentford away game, where I sort of went on a major rant on this channel, and I turned around and said, what is going on? Like, they looked like they had just drained all the life out of them. Do you know what I mean? And listen, it ain't the players' fault, because they playing Thursday, Sunday. Yeah, I totally get that. But if you're the manager, you've got to take accountability for that. You know full well that you're in 4 competitions at the start of the season. Yeah, you need to acclimatise your team to know that you're going to be in 4 competitions, and Moyes really didn't. You know what I mean? He was playing the same players over and over again. He was using the same subs over and over again. It was the same tactics over and over again. And I think this season he needs a freshen up. He needs players. He needs options. He needs everything of the above, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? Does a guy kick cats? Let's hope not, mate. We don't want him in the press. That's one thing I'm going to say on that. James. Hi, James. Want to see Potter come in? Hopefully, I do and all, mate. Keane Lewis Potter. This is a man, just don't go away from being linked to West Ham. He's another one who just doesn't go away. Every time I think that deal's dead, someone will appear from somewhere, and yeah, a deal. It seemed like West Ham are interested in. Listen, Keane Lewis Potter is a player with potential who's done it at championship level, but I think he's top draw on that left hand side. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's going to come in and start game straight away. I think he's going to develop, but he's a Bowen 2.0, mate. I won't say he will be as good as Bowen, but he will be up there. Do you know what I mean? Such a top quality player, and I'll be very, very surprised if he is not in the Prem next season. Off topic, but does anyone know if Daya is okay? I've not seen anything of him for ages, and hope all is okay. I think Daya stopped doing YouTube, mate. If I'm being honest, I haven't heard nothing from Daya. I think he's exploring life, mate. I think he's going around to different places. And I think he's really not the YouTube on the head, mate, if I'm being honest on that. So, yeah. At the doctors, I think I've caught dust mites. Fair enough. I would like Nesri to be honest. So would I, mate. I think he's decent. The midfielder from Feyenoord looks good. Yeah, that's a Turkish lad. And that is the end of the comments. Before I get your final comments in, hopefully in the next coming weeks we will start seeing some other players. But who knows? What we got here? Raphinha wants World Cup football more than Champions League this year. West Ham would be perfect for him to get plenty of playing time and get in the Brazil squad. That is it, Glenn. That is it. That is where this Raphinha link to West Ham just doesn't go away, in my opinion. I think he's looking at Arsenal. He's looking at all these clubs and he's thinking, where do I play? But I think once you sign for one of them clubs, I think if you sign for Chelsea, I think he'll come in, but I don't think he plays regularly. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal is a possibility. I think he could come in, especially if Saka was to move to Manchester City or Liverpool or somewhere like that. I don't know, but I think he's looking at it that, and I do absolutely agree on that comment. Yeah, he's looking at playing time more than the club. If West Ham was to nab him from Leeds, that would be one of the signings of the summer for me. Absolutely, I can't stress enough. Since Algeria, West Ham have decided to sell Benrahma or will continue from next season. Benrahma will be here next season, mate. I honestly do believe that. I think Benny, and I'm starting to see a lot on social media in regards to Benrahma. People are starting to say, you know what, he wasn't that bad. And someone put a stat up of him in the last 2 seasons, and each season he's progressed each time. He needs to do a bit more in front of goal. I've got to say that. I think sometimes last season he was afraid to have I think he was overplaying it. Yeah. And this sort of drifting wide to the byline has definitely got to stop. That's one thing I've got to say. That keep going to the byline and trying to cross balls in. He's not a cross of a ball, right? He needs to be really where the number 10 is, but they need to be infield, not outfield. But that 4-2-3-1 system is a bit of a, polarizing system for me. So I don't know on that. I really don't. Benny needs to stay though. He needs competition. Don't get me wrong. If Raphinha comes in, that's not a bad. Do you know what I mean? Because what it is, Raphinha, he can play up front also, and he's a threat on the break. Can you imagine having Raphinha on the left, Bowen on the right? If you're going to play Fornals or Benrahma, you've got them as a 10, and then you've got Antonio, Brojo, whoever. Right. One thing West Ham need, if they're gonna sign players this coming summer, is pace. That's one thing they need. They need fast players. West Ham lack in fast players, like people who can hit them on the break. Bowen, is fast. Antonio can run, but his control lets him down. But we need some pace on the break with a few, not just them two. So it will remain to be seen what happens there. Hit the like button, people. Yeah, please do hit the like button. It goes a long way. It helps me out. So yeah, please do that for me. Benny needs to use his left foot more. Yeah, I would say he's a bit weak on the left-hand side. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what? I think what you said earlier, George, I do make you right on one thing. If Lingard does come in and they could get a fee for Benny, I think Benny would go, if I'm being honest. I don't think West Ham are going to go out and literally sell Benrahma and bring another one in. Do you know what I mean? I think that they're looking at players, but I think if Lingard was to come in as an extra player on top of that, I think Benny will go. I think Benny could be sold. At the minute, I don't think Benny goes anywhere. I don't think West Ham can afford to sell him, if I'm being honest, at present. I think they look at him and think, well, if we get rid of him, we're getting rid of Kalajdzic. We're going to need to bring in more. Do you know what I mean? So with the 4 competitions that we've got and the amount of games that we've got coming up, like, we need some players. Like, do you know what I mean? Stop keep selling them. And obviously, this is where it frustrates me slightly with the OkoFlex situation, right? Where OkoFlex hasn't really been given any chance at West Ham. Not one game, first team sort of competition. So, yeah, Benny needs to stay, really, mate, and sort himself out. Benny frustrates me, but I will give him another season or two to push on. I think next season will be the final straw with a lot of West Ham fans. I think a lot of West Ham fans will look at this and go, you know what? He's improved from the season before. Last season, he had 17 goals and assists combined. Yeah. I think he was ahead of Raphinha, and we're being linked with Raphinha. And I'm saying I'd sign Raphinha. So I think this season coming, if he's here at the start of the season, I think by January, we will know where we're at with Saeed Benrahma. For me, I think he's a very talented footballer. I think get good players around him, get pace around him. I think he can be deadly. He can pick the ball up, spray them passes left to right, and be that sort of type of player. I think one thing with West Ham that I will say is I do think they're slow when it comes to playing like Fornells and Lanzini together. Like I've always said that. I think like they play too similar. They play sideways and back passing. And listen, whether you like Fornells or you don't, or whether you love him or you don't, right? I look at Fornells, I think, yeah, he's an industrial midfielder. He breaks play up. Gets the ball, passes it very well, and he's a decent player. But he doesn't score many goals. He doesn't create many goals. And when you are playing as a number 10, if you're playing this 4-2-3-1 system and you're playing Suchek and Rice as your 2 midfielders, and Fornells is your 10, he has to be contributing to more goals and more assists, in my opinion, especially as a number 10. So it's an interesting one with regard to that. But listen, Benny's Benny, man. If you have a manager on the top of your head, it won't be easy. I understand that. Listen, I think Moyes hasn't really given him a lot of confidence, Benrahma. I will agree with you on that. Many interviews last year, I see Benrahma getting dug out by Moyes, right? And I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, was he really that bad? And when Benrahma done really, really well, nothing was said. So it's going to be a sort of an interesting summer, so to speak. I can't see Raphinha coming to us. As I say, mate, if I'm rating it out of 10, I'm giving it a 3 as a transfer sort of rumour. Do you know what I mean? But nothing would surprise me with West Ham to try and go in there and try and get him out of there. Do you know what I mean? He is an ideal player for West Ham. That's the sort of player West Ham need, a ball carrier. If you look at him and look at Jesse Lingard and you look at people who carry the ball, get us up the pitch fast, that's the sort of player that we need. We need like a ball carrier. And Bowen does it, but Bowen is one man. Do you know what I mean? We need more than one man to do it, don't we? Let's be honest. So, yeah, it remains to be seen what happens with that in the coming weeks. Leeds want 65 million for Raphinha. I'm not sure on that. I think 55 million was reported. Who knows, though? Who knows? Who knows what will happen in the weeks ahead with regards to that? What we got here? Benny must play on the left to be really effective and bring the maximum to the team. I agree on that, but I don't think he's a left-sided player, mate. Right? He has to play on the left, but as an inside forward for me. in a 4-3-3 system or a 4-3-2-1 system. Right? I think when he's on the left hand side and he's so far on the left hand side, he goes missing, Benrahma. And I'll back him up, and I like Benny, but I will be honest and true to the people when I say this. He hugs the byline. He's sideways back, and it's good passing, but it's going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? I want Benny as a 3-man attack, running with Bowen, Antonio, etc., and causing defences nightmares. He needs to be closer to the goal, and I think he's miles away from the goal. He can't cross a ball. Yeah, so that's a major problem. So for me, a 4-3-3 system or centrally would be ideal for me. What we got? Let's have a look. What realistic targets you think we'll get, James? Honestly, mate, I don't know. I think Broja is the man that we're looking at. For me, I think it's a lackluster signing, in my opinion. I think it's a good signing, but I think you've been looking for a striker for 18 months, and you're telling me that you're going to go and sign a 20-year-old from Chelsea's academy. That doesn't really put up any trees with me. I think, well, what have you been doing for 18 months? And for me, if I was to sign a player, Jonathan David would be the one, as I always say on this channel. I think West Ham are going to go and get players that some of us don't even heard of. It wouldn't surprise me. Like some of these players that we've been linked with, none of us have even heard of. Like the Turkish lad, I've never heard of this kid at all. Watched a clip of him, looks quite decent. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know who we're going to go for really, but what we do need is a left back at this club. Left back is a major concern. I think if Mazawaku goes, we need cover there, right? And if we don't sign a left back, there'd be a lot of very angry West Ham fans, I believe. A lot of people will be saying, well, what is going on? Like, you can't go and put Ben there. So a left back is a major thing for me, and for a lot of West Ham fans, from what I've seen. The James Ward-Prowse one, just does not make no sense to me. West Ham paying £75 million or £60 million out for a midfielder makes no sense to me. It really does. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think he's a good player, but when I look at Basuma, who's gone to Spurs, I think that's really what you need, a proper defensive midfielder to allow Rice to go forward. Like, I think Ward-Prowse is massively, like, that's the English tax on a player. And is he worth that amount of money? He ain't going to score you loads of goals. I know that for certain. So if we was to get Ward-Prowse at a reasonable price, I hope it doesn't affect the rest of the team. I hope they don't just go for Ward-Prowse and then get a load of free transfers that are pony, if I'm being honest. So it will remain to be seen on that, mate, if I'm being honest. Benny is better playing behind the striker, I feel, not on the wing. Yeah, I agree on that. I really do. Broder is the best that suits Moyes. Yeah, but what's Rob Newman been scouting for the last year? I've got no idea what he's been doing for the last year. You know what I'm saying? You think it's true that we've got 120 million to spend? I don't see it myself. Four transfers, 30 million a pop. Then yeah, I think there's money there. But it's just whether or not West Ham are prepared to spend it. That is the only $1 million question that we all need to ask. As I say, left back, if we was to go and get Rahm out of Hoffenheim, great signing. Mitchell can't praise him up enough. Striker, 2 midfielders, a left winger, goalkeeper, and I think they're sweet. I think the Agard deal covers a lot, yeah, because I think Diop will go. I think Diop leaves West Ham, yeah. I think he'll leave for about 15 to 18 million pounds. He'll probably go back to France. Now, that will sort of counter that deal. So if we take that deal away, say 15 million, West Ham will still have about 135 million pounds to spend. Now, they need to spend some money because we're in a great position of being in London, get these players in, get them adapted. The one thing I don't want to see is West Ham leaving it to the last day of the window. I'll be very, very, very disappointed with Moyes if he goes 5 games, that's 5 Premier League games before the window shuts, and he goes and tries to sign players then. I think that is schoolboy, if I'm honest. If you want these players, get them in now. Do you know what I mean? Pay the money, get them in, job done at the end of the day. What have we got? West Ham is a very good team with excellent players. It's a system of play and relevant use of players that is lacking. Yeah, I agree, man. What's this? James, I heard Arthur's staying. I don't know why. If he did staying, if he is staying, I don't get it myself because he has been absolutely dreadful for West Ham for years. It's like he's holding someone upstairs to ransom. Like he must have like a selfie of him or something. You know what I mean? Arthur plays like an Arthur. Arthur Daly, mate, doesn't he? He's just absolutely shocking. He's championship standard for me. And I think we've got rid of one in Fredericks. Arthur should be out the door. He should be gone. Do you know what I'm saying? But even if you loaned him out somewhere, said like, go and get him off the wage bill and get him out on loan or somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Just do something because I just look at it that you take Cresswell out, then you've got no left back. But the worry that I do have, and listen, I've been, as I said earlier on in this stream, I've started to do a lot of spaces on Twitter, yeah. And I spoke to a Moroccan gentleman the other night, me and Lucas did, and he said a guard is not a left back. So any of this, you see a guard saying people play a guard left back, he's never played left back, and I think the only two times he has played left back, not even in competitive football, I think it was like youth level or something, right? He lost both games at left back. So he's not played a competitive game at left back, I don't believe. So for me, right, I don't want to see a guard going left back and a Bonner coming in with Zuma. So I think that is a major. I think a guard is better as your centre half, left-sided, solid, pace, everything. Yeah, we need a left back at the end of the day. What we got? Let's have a look. Out of the doctor's been given steroids to take. Yeah, man. Don't do that. So, James, do you plan on going to any of the pre-season games? The Rangers one would have been great, Jezza. I've got to be honest. But it's on a Tuesday night, I think it is, or Wednesday night. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, mate. I don't know. A lot of them are away, aren't they? So, possibly. Do we get one of them Watford players and Keane Lewis Potter? Do you know what? If we got Sarr and Keane Lewis Potter, now you're talking my language. I think if you got Dennis and Keane Lewis Potter, yeah, I have some of that. But I think, like, even if you got the two Watford lads, we just need options. But if you go from, I think Sarr is a good player. Like some people don't rate Sarr, but I think he's a ball carrier. And that's what we need. Like Lingard, Keane Lewis Potter's a ball carrier. Raphinha is a ball carrier. These are all ball carriers that West Ham are being linked with. So for me, yeah, listen, I will take Sarr and Keane Lewis Potter all day long, mate. 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? A guard's a great signing, but we still got a lot of work to do in the window, quality over quantity. I agree. We need some quality players, but we need some squad depth and all. Listen, if we was to bring in a player who sits on the bench and comes on from time to time and be like a super sub, and so be it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think as the weeks are going on, the fear I do have is that we come to Manchester City and we are playing the same team that we had last season with a guard. Do you know what I mean? And probably Areola and all. I think Areola's like 95% there, done. Do you know what I'm saying? I think as West Ham fans, we all know, yeah, how long it takes for them to get a deal done and over the line. Like, and the fear is I don't want us to go into Manchester City light. Because the first sort of rebel will be, well, you've had the whole summer to sort this out. You've been linked with every Tom, Dick and Harry, and you've signed just one player or two players. Do you know what I mean? When you need 5 or 6. So it will remain to be seen on that. I think Arthur should go to Spurs. I agree. Getting ready for Moyes to spend under 20 million. Yeah. Yeah, we have to get in a left back. James, can you still see Lingard joining us? If I'm being honest, to round that up on that last question, no. I think he's categorically made it clear that he's not joining West Ham. I'll be quite stunned, really, if I'm being honest, if Lingard signs West Ham. The only way he would sign for West Ham is he doesn't get a move that he that he wants. and he looks at us as like the third choice. Do you know what I mean? Do I really want Lingard at West Ham? I think I would for the where it's a free transfer, but I don't want him just to be him. He's the main man. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd rather West Ham go out and spend some money on some players and then bring Lingard in as an additional player on top of that. So you got a lot of players, a lot of positions that need to sort of, if you don't perform, you're out. And I think last season with West Ham, we had 3 positions where there was guaranteed playing every week. Do you know what I mean? 3, 4 positions. And I think we need to sort of change that philosophy. I think Moyes needs to change that philosophy also. I think he needs to start acting a bit more like West Ham are a massive club, which we are. We are in Europe. We're going to play multiple games. And we need a big squad. And we've got a playoff to play and all, which people keep forgetting. I'm not sure when the playoff is. I think it's in August, I think, at some point. So we've got a playoff, and we've also got 5 Premier League games in August. So it is very, very, very important that West Ham get these players in before September the 1st. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. But it will remain to be seen what goes on. Obviously, it's West Ham, and nothing would surprise me if they go bang, 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 sign 3 players, and it's all over. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but we will find out in the coming weeks ahead. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I want to thank everyone who's watched me today on E20 Zone TV. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I really do appreciate it. Also, check out Have Your Say with me and Lucas the other day, and Mitchell. Absolutely hilarious it was. Mitchell decided to leave his Alexa on, and his Alexa was speaking to him. It was quite funny, I must admit. And yeah, Mitchell was even saying some interesting things on there. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking forward to getting Mitchell back on more stuff. Possibly tonight, if you are on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at FatBoyFeeder16. Listen, I might be doing a space tonight, and I had over 150 people on there the other night, and it was very, very interesting with what the opinions of the people were saying. Some people are very optimistic. Some people are nervous about the transfer window. They're looking at it and thinking, like, where they've had history of Moyes dilly and dallying, they're worried that they're going to let players go and things like that. And it was interesting to hear from different ages of people, from like youngsters all the way up to people in their 60s, 70s. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, if you're over there on Twitter tonight and there's a space going, you probably find me there. Anyway, try and have a good Thursday. West Ham are in the hunt for players, but who they get, we just don't know. Bye for now.